I'm gonna check my. Well, these other two get on here.
Is today the guest speaker, or
Oh no, I was texting with her. Yeah, I was texting with her earlier, and we decided we'll do it another day because this is going to be a really full. And she's not really a guest speaker; she's just a mentor of mine. But she's got lots of experience.
Okay.
Like 30 years of experience in health and fitness, and she walks the walk way better than I do. She's been a professional competitor and everything. And if it's just me and you, this is being recorded, so we can, I can share it with the others. Oh, there's Carissa. Here she comes. Carissa, hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, Gloria's not here yet. I am going to record today because I want to be able to capture this. It's going to be a good one, I think, for you guys. And I will start without Gloria because we're just past, okay? So how's your guys' week gone? Roberta's on video off because she has low bandwidth today. So sorry about the dogs. How did water go for you, Carissa?
I never got to the halfway point.
Okay. How high did you go?
The best I did was 80.
Okay, but you got to 80. Remember I challenged you. That's good. Roberta, did you pay attention to your water intake?
Yeah, so I had I would have about like 5 bottles every day.
5 bottles, okay.
Yeah, and that's about what, 16 ounces?
Yeah, times 16. So
yeah,
it's about
might
80
not
ounces
be
also, right?
Yeah, about I think
5 times 10 is 50. 5 times 6 is 30. So 80 ounces. Okay, so you guys are maybe not at your halfway mark, but you just keep stretching it, right? Because you have to get used to drinking that much. Otherwise, your body does like say, hey, wait, you're drinking too much and you want to pee more and all of those things. And it makes it harder, but it'll also help you feel full and it'll help keep any headaches away and all that too. So I definitely keep encouraging you to keep working on it. Maybe this week aim for 90, right? Just so like, or 8 more ounces, 1 more cup of water. So 88, and then we can work further on the next time. Okay. So we will keep building up.
okay.
Any other wins for you, Carissa? Like you had a good week doing something in particular around wellness?
Well, I mean, like me and Karen have started workout apps together, and we've been consistent with it. Like we did it 4 out of the 5 days of the work week. So like I feel like that's pretty promising.
Yeah, that's awesome. How did your body feel?
Oh, I was exhausted after prepping for painting and working out, but it was nice to get more sleep as well. So.
Oh, good. Made you feel tired because you worked harder, huh? So you slept better?
Yeah.
Oh, good. That's the good thing too. Sleep is huge. We need to talk about sleep sometime soon. Roberta, did you have any wins besides water?
So I started taking walks for my breaks.
Mm, good.
So started more in the beginning. Well, it's been raining, but I have been on Friday. I was able to take my breaks and then do some walking, and it felt really good to get out. I mean, I do walking in the courthouse and stuff, but it's more of on my, on my break, and I'm able to
Yeah.
go and just walk
Instead of
and
just
not
like,
have to do work.
yeah, instead of just working through it or just sitting back and doing nothing, you're getting extra steps. So that's awesome,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah. Yeah.
for me, I do want to say, like, I actually went to the gym this week. I only went one time. I felt sick the next 2 days, and so I didn't go back yet. I had a really bad sore throat at night, but I also got on my Peloton this week one time. So I worked out twice, and I haven't been working out at all. So that's a win. I also, we had, I think it was this week, maybe beginning of the week, we had leftover birthday cake from Soren, like pretty much half of what we purchased for cake we had left, and I just threw it away instead of trying to eat it. And I love cake and frosting. So for me, that was huge, because not only did I spend money on it, like a lot of money, because it was fancy for a baby, baby's birthday. But I literally just threw it in the garbage without like even, it's okay. I'm not going to eat it anyway. So it doesn't need to take up room in my fridge. Because last week I couldn't have done this class with you guys because I had too much stuff in my fridge with Thanksgiving and leftover cake and all that stuff. So I was like, I can't make a bunch of food and then put it in my fridge today, right? So anyway, that was a good win for me. I never throw away food if I can help it, and I never throw away sweets. I usually just eat them until they're gone. And that's me just being real honest. Like, no wonder this is my figure, Okay, I have one more question for you. Well, two, but one for right now. Is everybody still at their starting weight or under? Have you weighed yourself?
I weighed myself. I'm about 1.5 pounds down.
Okay. Krista, how's that going for you?
Well, I'm at the
that Mexican
starting
restaurant.
weight.
What happened?
Well, I mean, like, I'm just not really, I don't know, like, the scale isn't really changing after
Okay.
like harvest time. Like my work went down, so my activity level went down a little bit.
Yeah.
So my weight went up, and now it's going back down.
Okay.
Just,
are you up or down?
It's a usual thing in November.
Yeah, totally. I get it. That's why you signed up for this, because there's a little bit of money on the line and you get some accountability and some help, right? So the reason I'm asking now is because we're into this is week number 4, right? So we're about halfway through, and I want to make sure you get your $100 back, or $97. I mean, you actually gave me 100 because I haven't given you change yet. So I want to make sure you get your $100 back. And this is the month, if you had any struggles during Thanksgiving, now's the time you don't have to lose weight, but just don't try not to gain, so that you don't have to rush losing to get back to your starting weight, right? If you guys remember, about 70% of Americans gain 10 to 20 pounds during this holiday season and then go try to lose it later, right? And then they end up in a cycle of constantly a small gain every year until they're like, wow, I've gained 50 pounds in the last 10 years, So that's okay. That I also am down a little bit, and I haven't really worked out. It's mostly just less eating, which is good. But that's just because I also want to not gain during this time of year. So, okay. So Krista, stay motivated. We got this, okay? I'm here to help you. And today I think is going to make a big difference, because it's going to reinforce for you both how if you are planning ahead with your food, you will be more successful, right? So what I want to share with you, I got some notes here to think about. And I want to hear from both of you. So like, what I have a couple things that I know are hard as far as when it comes to eating healthy consistently, but I want to hear, like, what do you think is the hardest part of eating healthy consistently? So whoever wants to start.
For me, it's boredom eating.
Okay.
Like after I'm done doing a bunch of stuff like working and exercising, I get home and I want to stay awake, but I'm bored. So I go into the kitchen and I grab something, and then I'll go back to the kitchen and I'll grab something, and I'll go back to the kitchen and I don't have a way of stopping that. I mean, I bought healthier snacks like grapes, and they sat in the refrigerator.
Yeah, totally. I get that. That is a hard thing when you, because probably the hardest part of that, Krista, is when you have grapes and you have M&Ms. I'm just making an example. M&Ms always are going to win because they sound best, or Oreos for me. Like if I had Oreos in the house, I am not going to pick grapes. I'm going to pick Oreos. So what I have to do.
Nobody else at my house is dieting, so nobody else is really.
Totally get it. Although you can be the example for your house too, right? Like if you're leading the way, it'll help your mom and dad and your son and things. So, so I totally get that. And we just need to make sure that the foods that are not helping you towards your goals, right? No, there's no bad food. It's just some foods are trigger foods that make you overeat, like I do too. And they're not helping you towards the goal that you have, which is to be healthy and have, build up your butt and fit in your jeans better. Oh, here comes Miss Gloria. Okay. So we're just going to work on getting some healthy snacks decided upon, and then stop making available the ones that are hard for you to resist. Okay. Like you can do it once in a while, but make it a special treat. Maybe you have to go out and get it specially instead of having it in the cupboard waiting for you. Hi, Gloria. Glad you made it. I'm excited to show you what I've got up my sleeve today.
Hi, I'm just watching the game still.
Oh, that's okay. No problem. I'm recording today too, so I'll share it with you later. And then Roberta, what do you think is the hardest part of not eating healthy all the time?
So I have grapes too, and they just been sitting in the refrigerator.
Not picking the healthy.
Yeah, it's just more of like not picking the healthy, but yeah, just not picking the healthy. And then when I'm like another thing is at work, my coworker keeps bringing food in, so I call him like Santa Claus. So it's not like the best. He's bringing like donuts and stuff and other snacks. So that's been like kind of the hardest thing to resist is
Doesn't
when
it
I'm
sound
at work
like
too.
Doesn't it sound? I'm so sorry. Doesn't it sound like the ruler that I showed you guys, and the coworker brings in the muffins, and you're like, "Ooh, muffins! I can have one today," and then you eat it because it's there instead of whatever you packed, right? That's so typical. You're not the only one, Roberta. I promise. But your coworker obviously doesn't have the same goals as you do. Otherwise, he may not bring in donuts, right? And then I know, Gloria, you're on the game, but do you mind telling me what you think is the hardest part of eating healthy consistently? Okay. She's watching the game. So I'll tell you guys what I think and why we're doing this lesson today. So one of the hardest things for me is when I get hungry, if I let myself get hungry, if I let my blood sugar get too low, right? I haven't eaten regularly enough or whatever, then I want something sweet and something now. And anything that's like my little trigger foods, the things I love, like Oreos or whatever, if they're in the house, they're going to be the very first choice for me, just like you guys, I'm sure. I don't want to have carrot sticks, and I don't want to have, an apple, but those are all in my house, but I want the junk, just like we all do. So part of that is that we, making those food choices when you are in the middle of making a choice, but you're also hungry, right? Is gonna lead you to a lot more temptation than you planning a plan, making a plan and attempting, well, not attempting, following it, taking action to follow it. And if you can plan ahead, build out some, cook and prepare, whatever that looks like, some food ahead of time that you know follows your goals, then when you go to need it, it's right there. And then it just takes a simple decision of, I'm gonna eat what I already made, just like I'm gonna eat the grapes versus I'm gonna eat the chips, you know? So, but it's already ready. You don't have to stop and prepare it, which is gonna be one of the things that keeps you from eating it if you had to stop and make it, for sure, right? I also believe that it's hard when you have to cook for others because, or when the rest of your household isn't trying to diet, because when you're, you know, trying to plan for yourself, it's going to make it feel like extra work. But again, if you have certain goals and your rest of your family doesn't, it's still really important for you to do the things towards your goals, okay? And then I also believe the cost. Most people will say like, it's just too expensive to eat healthy. It's so much cheaper to go through Taco Bell or make a top ramen or something like that. I know that's just an example of what my, you know, a
Maybe
bowl of
not
cereal.
Taco Bell. Taco Bell is expensive.
It is expensive. Yeah, it's definitely not cheap. I can show you a meal that's going to be a lot cheaper than Taco Bell and well-rounded today, right? So, but those are three things that are really common as far as why it's hard to keep it going. People will say like, it's just too much time or too much prep, or I can't cook. If I cook healthy every single meal, then I'm going to spend all the day in the kitchen. Like I'm not a chef, you know, those kind of very valid reasons. So what I want to show you is a strategy that we can use forever, and it can use any food. I just want you to remember what we went over, the food portions and things and the examples. I don't have all foods in my possession to show you an example, but what you need to know is that every single food is energy. No matter what food it is, it provides energy to your body, unless it's calorie free like water, but has other purposes. So energy is what we need to balance, and energy is what we're trying to take in and out in a strategic way so that we have energy all day. We're able to convert the energy for our body to use it, and we're not trying to store, or our body's not going to store as much because we didn't overeat when we didn't need the calories, right? We want to eat strategically around when we're going to use the calories and everything. So what I'm going to show you is food prep, and it's take a little bit of investment up front, probably, because you're going to need to have good groceries, and you're also going to need to have some storage containers, but I'm going to show you some portable storage options also. And I don't want you to picture that you're going to cook one day and then have food for an entire week, because really food should be eaten within like 3 days or so of you prepping it. Otherwise it starts to have exposure to bacteria and get kind of slimy and all that. So we're going to talk about doing an hour or so of prep on like a Sunday or a Saturday. Like today, I actually woke up this morning and I started everything about 9:30 just so that I could have it all set up and show you guys. And I'm ready to dish things in now so I can share with you. Hey, ladies, go lay down. Go lay down, dogs. They're crazy. But I would also recommend that you pick a day like Wednesday or Thursday where you do it again, picking, you know, a new variety of foods if that's the case, so that you don't get too bored. And just commit those couple hours a week and see that you're going to save yourself a lot of time throughout the week, and you're going to have decisions already ready to go that you don't have to like make when you are hungry, which is one of the hardest things for me. Also, if you prep your own food, you decided to log it like we've been trying to do with Lose It, you're actually able to know what you put into it. You can measure it and know what it measures out to be. And you're going to be much more in tune and aligned with what calories you actually think you're eating versus having to count something out and or just take a bag of something and eat from it and go, oh, I think I ate a serving, but you probably had 3 because a serving's like 5 crackers, you know? So we always overdo it when we don't pay that close of attention. And like I mentioned about the shelf life, not having too much prepared in advance. You can make one big pot of a thing, and then you can scoop it out as you go, you know, based off of what meal you need it for, or you can like plan it out where you put all the things together in like a storage container that you can put in the refrigerator, and you can plan it like, this is my lunch or my snack. Okay. So we always want easy on the go options that you can grab and go, because we don't want to have to do a lot of prep. And I'm going to show you a breakfast option, maybe 2 breakfast options, a couple snacks, and then I would say that you prep for everything that you might be out of the house for, like your breakfast and 2 snacks, and then you know what you're going to do for lunch, a healthy lunch, or you bring your lunch, which will save you a lot of money. And then dinner, when you get back home, you have your foods at home that you can make something fresh for that meal. You can eat with your family. You just would want to keep that meal a little lighter unless you're about to go exercise, right? Because you're not going to burn the calories sleeping. And if you eat a really heavy meal at dinner, then you're sinking the ship because you're not going to want to eat in the morning. Remember the ruler that we looked at last time we talked. So everything I'm going to show you is reusable as far as containers go. That way it is better for you. It doesn't, like plastics aren't the best to store food in, because then when we reheat them, they kind of leak chemicals into our food. And so we're going to use glass. I have pretty much everything is glass that I'm going to show you. And the good thing about that is you can wash it and reuse it like into eternity, right? You can use it for a long, long time. So you make an initial investment, and then from then on, you have what you need. It's much better for you for reheating and storing it and everything. So let me, I'm going to scan my kitchen here really quick. I have a whole bunch of things. See my counter there? So I'm going to show you what I do as a strategy in order to have food available, so that like grocery shopping isn't going to be, I don't have to shop for everything every week. I don't have to plan, you know, a big meal and like go get groceries specifically for it, which is going to take an extra hour, things like that. And I also, you know, remember that I don't eat meat, so I have to think about other options for protein. Sean, my husband, he eats chicken and stuff. So he usually buys chicken and preps it for himself. And then he can have these things as sides to that chicken. But I'm going to pick a vegetarian option for my protein source. But there's plenty of options out there. So I bought these at one point from Target. You can get them from anywhere. They're a glass container. Then I buy my things kind of in bulk. Like you can get them from any store in a little plastic bag and get a couple of them and put them in here. This is quinoa. So these are quinoa seeds. Okay. And the reason why I have quinoa in my house is because it's a high protein, high fiber food. And so just like I can have rice, I can have quinoa, and it will be a carbohydrate that has a higher protein count. So and it's really easy to make. It's easy like rice. So I made some of that today to show you guys, but quinoa, you know, I use maybe a cup at a time. So this is a couple weeks worth, at least if I wanted to make it every week. And if I fill it up, it'll last me a couple months and it'll stay good because it's dry. Okay. So I just want to show you quinoa, and then like rice. So I have brown rice and I have white rice. That's a lot of rice. You know, if you use a cup at a time, if you make a cup, then it makes about 2 cups of serving, and you don't really need 2 cups per serving. So it could be more than one meal, or it could be you and somebody else eating a cup. And the thing about rice and like the quinoa is it's really cheap. I think it's like $2 for a pound of rice. So if I need a cup of that, this is this is like 2 bags right here. That probably cost me $4. That could be several meals. Okay. And brown rice, same thing. It could be, this is several meals. And it's only a couple dollars worth of rice right here. You can get it in bulk instead of getting it in a bag, and it'll be even cheaper. But that's how I store it. Stop. My guard dogs are guarding. There's nobody even here. I also buy beans. So these are black beans. I need to store mine really quick over there. And these are lentils. Very affordable, super cheap. They're a protein and carb source and a little bit of fat. I'm gonna stir my beans really quick, and then maybe my dog will show it. So all of these foods that I showed you right here too, they have a good fiber source. And if you remember what we're trying to do when it comes to stabilizing our blood sugar is fiber and healthy fats and the protein too, but they're going to slow down the digestion of the carbohydrate, which is going to mean your blood sugar is more stable. So balancing things like this into the meal so that you have a stable blood sugar will make you feel full longer, and the energy will last you longer without a spike in your blood sugar and then the crash, right? Like Roberta has been talking about how she feels like a crash after she eats. Her blood sugar is probably spiking and then dropping, and so she feels really tired. That's just the way our body works. I don't know if you guys have ever tried chia seeds, but I'm going to show you something with chia seeds, which is really, they're not expensive. It's a really easy snack, and it's got lots of fiber in it and good nutrition. I have raw almonds, and I also have raw pumpkin seeds. So just seeds and nuts are really good for us because they have lots of healthy fat in them and vitamins, right? And they also, that fat helps to slow down our digestion, and they're super easy to pack and be portable. Like you can keep, at times I've had almonds or these pumpkin seeds in my purse, and they've been in there for months. And I go back to eat them because I finally was like, I need it. And they're so great, right? So the fat in them is one of the things that can make it go bad, but if you keep it stored well, then it'll be okay. And when you eat these type of things, it's usually a really small portion. It should be, and these aren't salted, so they're not going to kind of drive you to eat more. Where you're like, ooh, I need more salt, I need more. But they are, they have enough of a crunchiness that you're like, oh, I got something of substance. And the way that we pair this is what I'm going to show you today. We're going to make a couple snacks with that. For fiber and good fat, I also have in another jar, I keep it in the fridge because the way when it's cut open like this or ground up like this, it can spoil faster. This is flaxseed, which is really good omegas for us, good healthy fats and fiber for us. And flaxseed is a little on the expensive side, but this is going to last me a long time. I even ground it myself in my blender, or food processor, so you can totally do that. And I can add this into any like breakfast meal or anything really, and it'll add healthy fat and fiber for me. So I'm going to do something with that today. I have some dried strawberries. That was just kind of like a one-off I did at one point. I'm going to add that in. For me, I don't eat it a lot, but I have tofu, which I can make, and I usually just roast it. And then I use it as a protein. A healthier version of peanut butter. My favorite version is going to the store and the peanuts are already in the container, the thing, and you just, process it yourself. And then I keep it in the fridge and it's like only peanuts. That's my favorite. But this one's the one I've been getting because it's easy to spread. And it's like another nut, right? It's like having almonds, but it's a good fat that has protein to it. So this is my vegetarianism talking, like I have to have things that have a protein also. Little plug, I like to use meal replacement shakes because they have a good protein and carb source and fiber source. and they're just like a simple pack, easy to go morning, shake it up and go type of food. So I use protein shakes a lot. And then I have a bowl of fruit. Woo, there's my bananas. I have a bowl of fruit pretty much whenever I get groceries. I try to get a couple of varieties of fruit because this is an easy on the go snack too. And one of the things about it is, well, one of the strategies is to tell yourself if you're hungry, but you're not hungry enough just to eat an apple, then you're probably not hungry. You're probably bored. Like you're saying, Krista, you're just bored. So you keep going to the kitchen. You get an apple or something that has fiber and a little bit of sugar in it and stuff, and it could satisfy that boredom, crunchy eating that you need, then you didn't totally go derail yourself by having a bag of Cheetos instead of an apple, right? So right now I have oranges because they're in season and I need the vitamin C because I've been feeling sick because of all the little bugs Soren's been bringing home. We're going to use oranges today as well. I buy blueberries a lot because my kid likes them. I put them in a jar because they last a lot longer than in the plastic container. So I've been washing them and then putting them in a jar, and I keep it in the fridge and it lasts weeks. Like if I didn't finish this, it would be okay 2 weeks from now, which it wouldn't be if it was in the plastic. And then I get oats in bulk and I keep it in glass too. But I'm going to make some overnight oats to show you guys like a fast, easy breakfast. I make oats a lot for my breakfast. I put blueberries in it and flaxseed, but if I show you something that you can grab and go in the morning that has oats, that's what we're going to do. Now, I don't use instant oats. This is not like Quaker oats packets that I put in the microwave and warm up, because those, I used to, when I didn't understand nutrition as well, I would take those packets and I would use them, but they process the oats in a way that they'll be instantly ready. And that's, the more processed the food, the less good it is for us, right? Like we want it to be as whole and natural as possible. So we're going to make something with oats, and I'm going to use it from this jar. A couple weeks ago, I made some veggie soup. So I had some carrots and celery. So that's an easy way, right? If we have fiber from fruits and vegetables, we're going to have a much fuller stomach with less calories, because these vegetables are super low calorie and lots of nutrition. We want to get lots of nutrition in. So I have already cut some up this morning, but I'm going to use those as part of my snack. And that way it doesn't go bad, but it's not expensive. This is, I mean, I didn't buy the pre-cut stuff. I bought the full carrots, or maybe like $2 for, well, this is 2 pounds. It was just a couple dollars. It wasn't much. It wasn't the baby ones, which are more expensive. And then celery's $1 something a pound too, right? So you can get lots out of a stalk of celery. Okay. Another staple, Greek yogurt. And the reason why is because it has more protein in it and less sugar. And this is kind of expensive, but I think it's worth it whenever you're going to use any kind of sweetener. This is organic grade A maple syrup. And the reason I'm going to use this to make one of our snacks or breakfast options, it could be, but I'm using it instead of plain sugar or like imitation type of maple syrup, because those are just made out of high fructose corn syrup, not actual maple. Okay. So I think this was like $17, but it's 32 ounces and it lasts a long time if you keep it in the fridge. You have to keep it in the fridge though. Okay. And then, like I said, I already made quinoa. I made some black beans this morning. I actually think they need to cook a little longer. And then I also made another veggie. I made Brussels sprouts this morning because I've been loving them. My oven, for some reason, isn't getting as hot as it should. So even though they cooked for an hour, they're really not done. They usually finish in 30 minutes. So I might have to like use it as an example, but not build off of it, because I'm going to have to cook them again or longer. So, okay, 25 minutes. In 25 minutes, I'm going to try to make we'll make breakfast for tomorrow through Wednesday. I'll put snacks together for tomorrow through Wednesday for 2 different snacks a day. So I can have like a morning snack and afternoon snack available. And I'm gonna plate up lunch, okay? So in 25 minutes. So once you do the prep, it's all really pretty easy. Also, instead of milk, I use almond milk, but you could use milk if that's what you prefer. But I'm gonna use it in a couple of things. And I am so that I can, easily log. I'm gonna measure everything. And then that way, what I'm eating, I don't have to guess, because guessing makes everything a little harder. So I'm just using, I'm gonna use a cup, a half a cup, a quarter cup, and a tablespoon to measure out some of these snacks and stuff, okay? Let me make sure you guys can see me. Also, tools of the trade. You can see I like mason jars. This is a 1 cup mason jar. I got it in a pack. I know it up front is going to cost a few dollars to buy a pack of mason jars, but I can wash them and use them for years. So I don't have to get a fancy Curex, glass container. I could literally do everything in this and be good to go. But this is a 1 cup. These are, there is 2 cups in this, right? So I'm going to use this for a couple things. And if you wanted to do the investment side of things, I have some favorite ones for you guys that I can share with you guys. But, these are containers that have a lid that clips on so that the foods don't get air in them. These, on these ones, I can open it up and just microwave it and it lets the steam out. Pretty good size. So this could be a meal, and it's not like a huge meal like at Black Bear Diner, but that's what we want to avoid. We want to get compact, good, healthy, lots of protein or lots of nutrition in a simple meal that we can eat. It doesn't take us long to eat and easy to pack, right? So I have some containers like this. That's what I'm going to do my lunch in. And let's do this. So also I hard boiled 6 eggs, which I like to do hard boiled eggs in my house. I have 6 because that's going to be 3 of my snacks. Okay. I know it might seem a little boring, but if I had a couple hard boiled eggs a day, it's going to keep me on track with protein and an easy snack. So here we go. Let's start with breakfast, actually. So this right here is chia pudding. You guys may have heard of that. I'm not sure if you have or not, but it's chia seeds, which is lots of fiber and good protein or good omegas for us. And the recipe is, you can make it how you want to, but the recipe that I'm using is chia seeds, a 2-cup container, and maple syrup and almond milk. So I'm going to do, may seem like a lot, but I'm going to do half a cup of chia seeds. You can do more or less. It tastes really good, I think, and it is satisfying. So you just put the half a cup in here. We're going to do 2 of those, 1 for each container. Actually, I'm going to do 1, and I'm going to show you, because I already have one ready. I'm going to show you guys oats in this one. So we're going to do half a cup of chia seeds. I'm going to, it's going to seem like a lot, but I'm going to do a 1/4 cup of maple syrup. So that's actually a lot of sugar, but it's not like I just went crazy with it, right? So a 1/4 cup. As much as I can get out of there. It could be honey, could put vanilla in it or cinnamon, things like that. And then for the sake of example, I will measure it because that way I can easily log this one. But sometimes I just pour it in there because these have a measurement on the side too. But I'm going to do 1 cup of almond milk. Could be other milk sources, whatever one you like. Okay, that's about what it usually looks like. So it's just 3 things. I'm gonna stir it up initially. I could put the lid on it and shake it up instead. Now it's sweet. It has a sweetness to it, and it also has a, like I said, fiber in it, and protein and healthy fat. So, oh, that took me 30 seconds, right? Like I could shake it up. And then what's gonna happen is those little chia seeds, where'd it go? It's somewhere, it's right in front of me. Jeez Louise, oh, here it is. Those chia seeds, they absorb water. So it helps you like stay hydrated too, because they fill up with water and they kind of gel up. And that's why the consistency changes from real liquid to really like a pudding. It's almost like tapioca pudding is what it tastes like. It reminds me of. But if I just keep them in the fridge, they last for a few days. I mean, this one I've had for a week in there, and I'm going to eat it later. So it's so good. So really fast option. Could be breakfast or a snack. Or if you feel like you need a sweet treat at night, that's a good option. And then I saw I was going to use the maple syrup for today. So that's maple syrup. Okay, so another breakfast, an easy breakfast. If you have the right stuff at home, that's the main thing, is that you have to prepare just a little bit. We're gonna make overnight oats. So I do make oats usually day of, because that's how I like them hot. This is a cold mix, but it's a way that you can have it ready to go. Okay, so I don't know, hopefully you guys like oatmeal. It's really good for you, lots of fiber. My serving that I usually do is half a cup. And a lot of times I use frozen, but it would freeze in here. So in this one, I'm gonna put just some fresh blueberries. I better measure it so that I can show you guys. A half a cup of fruit. About a half cup of fruit. And I'm gonna put cinnamon because I like it. Good spices. And because I want to get the good fat, I'm gonna add a tablespoon of flaxseed. And then I'll use this for something else here in a minute. And then I'm gonna do a cup of almond milk. So as soon as I mix this in, so my little 2-cup container now has oats, cinnamon, blueberries. This is exactly what I make in the morning, and just make it hot. And I cook it in a bowl. But I just have that. And I'm gonna put a lid on it. In the morning, this could be breakfast, and I just have to grab it with a spoon and I have breakfast. I already made it, took me 30 seconds. Okay, so let's count this as 2 breakfasts, oatmeal and chia seeds, so I don't have to like be too repetitive. I got my breakfast out of the way for the next 2 days, and I already have a 3rd chia seed, so I'll use that as my 3rd meal. Perfect. Now,
Anna?
yes.
Sorry. So you just keep that overnight in the fridge, and
Yeah,
then
it can
in the
last
morning?
it can actually last a couple of days, but the oats are gonna absorb the moisture from the almond milk, and it's a cold cereal. I mean, you can make it with different types of oats too. It's a cold cereal, but it's a meal like on the go, right? So and I have a serving of fruit, a serving of whole grains, and healthy fat in it, so it'll be a fast, easy meal.
Nice,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Then let's do a couple of snacks. So they're crazy. My dogs are crazy. So I have these are 1 cup little containers. This is also, I believe, a 1 cup, like I said, little ball or canning container. And you could use a little plastic bag if you want to instead. But the reason why I like this, because I can wash it And I'm gonna do almonds. So a serving of almonds is about a palmful. And if you eat it like the size of it inside your palm, and if you count it out, it's usually about 28, but without being too, critical about it. We're just gonna do, you could also do a quarter cup. So my quarter cup has maple syrup in it. That's about a quarter cup. So I'm just gonna count it to see how accurate I was. So that's 28, probably 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 23. So I was 5 off. 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So there's your serving of almonds. I mean, yeah, if you sat down and just ate a million almonds, it's a lot of fat. It has a lot of calories we have to account for. So if you were to plan out, 3 or 4 of these, like I have this, which is several days worth, but if I have this already packaged up in my cupboard or in a baggie, could be, all I have to do is grab this. So I can prep for a whole week of my nuts like that. A quarter cup of seeds is also the serving size. My quarter cup is dirty, so I'm going to do a palm. Okay. So we're going to count that as a serving size of pumpkin seeds. Again, I can prep for several days, depending on how many containers I have, and just have these already ready to go. And now I get a healthy fat and lots of nutrition from, and this is not the whole snack. This is just part of the snack. So on this snack, I'm going to make this like a breakfast snack, and I'm going to add an orange with each of those. Now I have a healthy fat, a protein from the nuts and the seeds, and a source of fiber and carbohydrates from the orange, right? There's 2 snacks. So if I made 3 of them, I would have all 3 days. And I have bananas here and stuff too, but it could be that. So let me make one more so that I have almonds for another snack. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. I have some broken ones, so I'm gonna 26, 28. I'm usually like 4 off in my grab. So here you go. I'm prepared for 3 morning snacks, and there's a variety, but they're kind of the same too, right? Easy, done. So now I'm going to show you guys a lunch, and this is going to take a little, I'm going to have to do some scooping, but it's not a big deal. So we're going to use my containers right here. These are my serving sizes for lunch. I'm trying to get a well-balanced meal, which is why I picked what I picked. So I cooked quinoa this morning. It takes like 20 minutes. It cooks just like rice. I put some bouillon in it so that it has like a little bit of a salty flavor. And, everybody's a little different on how much measurement you need, because we all need different levels of carb, but this is also a protein. And for me, like I said, I need a protein source. So I'm going to do a cup, already cooked and flavored because I put the bouillon in it. Very close, right? So then that way I can say I measured out a cup, and that's what I had for my meal. And if you don't mind things touching, then you can use that one container for that. I think my beans are going to be a little undercooked right this minute. No, maybe not. So as simple as it was, super cheap, black beans and water and salt. And I could flavor it other ways, but I made beans. It took me less than an hour. And I'm going to remember, beans are also a carbohydrate and a protein. So the way that I'm gonna do beans today is half a cup, because I already have a carb in here and a protein too. This one, the way I made it today, it doesn't have very much liquid. Sometimes I make them and they are more like a chili. I got beans, okay? And then you can't overdo vegetables. Like I said, my veggies are maybe a little undercooked as well. They got a little cooked. They just don't seem all the way cooked. So I made for this meal, you know, I made this is one packet of already, I cut them in half and I roasted them. Could be pretty much anything, but I'm gonna do a whole cup of, again, my container could be bigger and it would make it less like stuck together in there. I think these will be okay. They'll just be a little on the undercooked side. So there's a cup, right? I could measure it other ways. I could use a food scale. I could find out exactly what a serving size of Brussels sprouts is. But if I do that, I just need to like do some research ahead of time. And I didn't do that today, but really you can't overdo Brussels sprouts. I did cook them with avocado oil when I roasted them, so they have a healthy fat. So in here, I have a veggie, a protein source of a whole grain. I have some sodium because of how I flavored it. And I have beans, which is a protein and carbohydrate source. All of this can fit in that one thing, which I don't mind it being together. I can reheat it really easy in this container. I can put that in a lunchbox and I will be full with that, but it's really healthy. I mean, besides it has some salt in it so that it tastes good. That's a full meal, pretty well balanced meal. And I can make this tofu, you know, I could have tofu or something instead of beans, things like that. I'm gonna do it one more time here. Well, two more times, because I'm making my food with you guys right now for the week. That's why I'm doing it with you. So that you can see that in this amount of time, I got 7 minutes to go. So I'm gonna prep 2 more quinoas. You know, being a little undercooked is not a problem too, because the reason why it's not such a bad thing is because then when you reheat it, if it cooks a little more, it doesn't become overcooked, right? So I know this might be really boring watching me just do this, but I want to show you guys how simple, if you can plan ahead, you can make most of your meals for 3 days. And it doesn't take very long once you just, I mean, the beans and the quinoa took about 20 minutes to cook, maybe 15. And the beans were about 30, but all I did is it's just boiling water. So, and then we're going to do a half a cup of beans. Yeah, so the other thing I could hear maybe as a complaint about this method is that, well, I mean, you're packing this just for, you know, you going to work or whatever you need to do, so you have food prepped. Super cheap because you have all these options. It might feel a little boring because you are eating the same meal 3 days in a row, but you can make more basic foods. Like you can make a different veggie or whatever you need and have different, I mean, I have rice and I have other, you know, other grains. And I could freeze these and then, you know, have more, I can make more options basically, and then freeze them and then not use them right away and pull them out when I want to have that meal again. And you can make any combination. This combination is just what I happen to have in my fridge. You know, we can pick any veggies, things like that. So, okay. So there's my cup. I even have some left over, so I can have that for lunch today, which is a great thing because I have leftovers of all this. So I have a meal right now already prepped, and then all my meals for lunch without having to spend extra money at the, being able to say no to somebody asking you out to lunch and if they want to take you to a Mexican restaurant and eat a bunch of chips, right? And there I have 3 lunches. I'm gonna wash off my hand real quick. Okay. So
That's gonna be challenging for me to say no.
Why,
at work.
Roberta?
I
Why?
I
What
know.
sounds challenging about it?
Just just saying no to somebody at work.
I know. I know, but it's good for your pocketbook too, because
This is true.
if I add it up, I've had some of these are staples I just keep in my house, like the rice and the beans, but they're super cheap. So if at the end of the day, this is what I had, it's gonna make a huge difference for my pocket. And that's awesome. Okay, so I boiled eggs this morning. If you guys need a tip on how to do that, I'd love to help, but it's pretty easy. 2 eggs, I could peel them, but for the sake of right now, I'm not going to. So 2 eggs. I got a couple different sizes here. I probably need a bigger one for this. I'm gonna make a couple of my snacks with 2 eggs. That's my protein and fat source. And then I have cut up carrots. I didn't even peel them because it's okay to eat the outside if they're washed. It's actually got probably good, some good extra probiotics for you. I'm gonna put carrots. You can't have too many probably, so a good handful. I do have a bigger container I can make this into. I could also put this in a baggie. But this is, this was 3 carrots, so let me make it 3 snacks. And I could do, some kind of ranch dressing or something like that if I wanted a little serving of it. And as boring as it sounds, this is healthy. This is good for us. So, I'm trying to show you guys easy, good foods. 2 celery stalks I cut up and add those in. So now I have, okay, Tuffy, the mailman's here. So Tuffy's gonna be on guard real quick. One more snack, right? So there's 3 healthy snacks. Oh, Tuffy. Sorry, 1 second. They are good guard dogs. Let me mute. Oh, maybe not. I know the mailman's here. I know. Thank you. Crazy dogs. Crazy dogs. Okay. I don't know the actual calorie count. Stop. That's really not loud. That's not loud at all, right? I don't know the calorie count for this full day, but I know that every choice I'm putting in here is awesome for me. Stop. I know it's all awesome for me, so I'm not even gonna fret about it. And I'm gonna make one more snack because, show you something that I think would be really yummy. Stop. I'm sorry. But this is a 1 cup container. 3/4 cups of Greek yogurt is 90 calories and 16 grams of protein. So I'm gonna do about 3/4 of it. Puppy, you need to stop. I should have put them outside before I recorded. Okay. Okay, we're gonna count that. We're gonna say that's 3/4 cups, almost the whole thing. Dried fruit. Stop. He's gone. He's gone. Stop. Dried fruit, 3/4 cups of dried fruit. This is freeze dried, but 1/4 cup of dried fruit is a serving, so that's gonna be about a palm. This is gonna rehydrate a little bit whenever I put it in the water, or I mean in the yogurt. So it's kind of like making a little parfait. And, you know, maybe I put a little, oh, I know what I'm gonna do. Monk fruit. This is a sugar alternative that doesn't have any calories to it, but it tastes really sweet. Because Greek yogurt is a little sour and I like sweet things, I'm gonna sprinkle a teaspoon of monk sugar on that, monk fruit sugar. Stop. No, geez Louise, these dogs. And now I can stir that in fact, a little bit. Let the strawberries kind of get some moisture in there. And the sugar mix in a little. And I'm not gonna eat this right this minute because I want the strawberries to rehydrate a little. But now I have a yogurt, which is good for me, a fruit source, which is gonna be a little sweet because I put extra sweetener in there. But this is protein, carbs, everything I need in it, right? I bought the yogurt in bulk. This is a fancier yogurt, but I bought the yogurt in bulk. I put it in my own container. It's gonna save me a lot of money to do that. And now I can make more than one of these, but now I have this as another snack. So it is 12:02. We started at 11:04 or so. And I have, besides me doing a bunch of talking with you guys, I have breakfast, lunch, snack for breakfast, a morning snack, a good healthy morning snack. Breakfast, lunch, morning snack, afternoon snack. When I come home for dinner, I just make what I can that's healthy. Have something that, you know, you have all your things at home when you get home. So it's just during the day that you really have to protect yourself because you don't know what's going to happen in your day. And if you get hungry, then you're going to be like, I want whatever I'm craving. And that's where we get derailed. I know I get derailed from that. So lots of good choices. I have fiber. I have multiple fruit sources. I have multiple veggie sources. And then my dinner, you know, I want to roll around to dinner. But that's one day. And I just made 3 days worth of food in 25 minutes because I prepped it. I mean, I spent some time cooking it this morning and I did 30 minutes of talking before I even put this in there. So does that help you guys see like what a healthy day, how simple it could be if you just plan ahead a little? Hopefully?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you know, I didn't like, there's nothing fried in here. There's not pastries. There's all that stuff is taken care of. And then at night, maybe this is my nighttime snack because I need something sweet and I want something to work on. And I have this for after dinner, right? Boom. So one last takeaway I want to ask you guys before I let you go. This is just another strategy, right? This is a strategy so that you can make it simple for you to eat healthy. That's all it is. It's not a diet. These are healthy foods planned out so that you don't have to derail, right? Okay. So it doesn't matter to me. Well, don't expect yourself to just start something and say, I'm going to go gung-ho and do this. You know, it's always going to be this and whatever. It has to be flexible. But if you started planning your breakfast or your snacks ahead of time or your lunch ahead of time, and you start like this week with just lunch or just snacks, you're taking away 2 choices that you'd have to make on the fly, which are not going to be as easy to make on the fly because you're hungry, right? I mean, there's lots of options. Every food here is just something I had at home, but it's, there's so many things it could be. It doesn't have to be limited to what I showed you. It could be whatever your favorite good things are. So that's just a strategy. So what I wanted to talk about, because we're at the beginning of the month and we are at, we're going to talk about exercise next week, but because we're at the beginning of the month right now, and we are about a month away from this wrapping up, and we want to have good goals. We want to reach our goals, right? Is I would like all of us, and I'll reach out to Gloria too. I would like all of us to set a goal for the month. You don't have to tell me right now. You can text it to me if you want to, privately if you want to, but set a goal for what you want to accomplish in nutrition this month and exercise. Be realistic. It might just be that you start eating breakfast before you leave the house so that you don't binge on donuts that your coworker brings in, right? That kind of thing. And then also, but you can do whatever you want. I just want you to think about what you've learned and then set a goal and write it down so that we can work on achieving it. And then also I'm going to do, I do this once a month now. I have another cleanse I really like too, which is an option. It's 10 days, but this is a 3-day like extra fiber that you do at night. I'm going to do this starting tonight. This is going to be my food for the week. I'm going to do this tonight and the next 2 nights, and I will do it again in a month. So if you guys want some, information on that, it could be a little reset right before we weigh in again. If you want, you can do it anytime you want, but this one you do is 3 days once a month. And so far I really liked it. It makes me feel really clean by the second day, right? Because it helps you get extra fiber right before bed. So that's all. Is there I know I gave you guys a lot. Any questions right now that I can help with?
For me, no, but I mean, I really like the idea of the glass containers because I'm always using plastic,
Yeah.
and it's always going bad or someone's
Yeah.
taking them in the house.
Yeah.
So
So I'm not canning, I'm not canning this. This isn't permanent or like gonna last a long time, but it definitely lasts longer because it's sealed.
right.
So yeah.
So I really like that idea. So I'm probably going to be looking to buy those soon because
Yeah.
it'll help me.
Yeah, definitely. And they're not that expensive. Like you can get 8 of these or something for $10 or $12 at any grocery store, especially during canning season. They're all over. One other thing about that, I was going to say, yeah, it doesn't matter. There's something else that came up. I'll think about it and I'll text you. But there, it just makes it easier. Like I can put a bunch of these in the fridge too. This is really easy to store too. So something to consider. If you like this kind of container, I've got some of these, like these are the kind of, I've got these off of Amazon at one point. I can share with you like the ones that I have. They've lasted me a long time and they're really easy to clean and, open and close, but they keep it sealed really well too for like when you make a meal and reheat in there. So just let me know. I can send links of my favorite things like Oprah, And then please ask questions if I can help you guys with anything. Write down your goal for the month and share it with me if you want to, but at least write it down so you have access to it and can see that you've taken the steps towards it, okay? And that was all I have for today. What we'll talk about next week is I'm gonna go over like our exercise strategies. What are some good goals for exercise? And I don't know, I'll see if I can provide you guys something to do for the week, but I think at least talking through what is a healthy workout regimen for a week is going to be a good place to start. And then we can build off of that. Okay.
Okay.
Awesome.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Could you review maybe one of these classes to review about cleansing? Because I've been interested in something like that as well.
Yeah, I can send you lots of stuff. I can send you some links that are not me doing the talking, but the designers of it if you want.
Okay, that would be good.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you can do it with me. Next time or whatever. Okay. It's really, I do it. I've done it for years and years and I have done it consistently and it always makes a difference for me. I always feel way better after I do it. Like, I don't want to be gross or anything, but everything works better when I clear it out, clean my filter like clean the lint trap, out of my dryer, kind of as an example. So I can definitely, I'll show you a video, Roberta and Chris.
Okay.
I'll put in the group text and you guys can watch it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So this is recorded and I can share it with you all too, so that you can go back and be like, oh, that was an easy option and I'll do that. Let me know if you have any questions, okay? And have a great week. Work on your water. Exercise if you can. Keep walking, Roberta. Keep doing your app, Carissa. I will also work on getting to the gym. I have a buddy meeting me at the gym now. I just didn't feel good the last couple of nights, but I have somebody to join me now. So we will work on that and we'll talk about it next week, okay?
All right, sounds good.
Thank you guys for your time. Have a great rest of your week.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.